this guy.
Making sure you look good.
Hey, today we're talking about how to squeeze your sphere like a lemon to make lemonade and grow your business. Check it out. Christian will be there.
Something like that. So I wonder if even after this, if there's two things, like on this episode, Megan will do a quick hey, make sure you subscribe to us and check out this episode about
This
what we're doing
is
here.
the
And then does
Boom Real
basically
Estate
the same thing
Podcast.
over and over again.
The podcast that
And
shows
we
you
put it
how
on
to
the
build
end
an
of the
amazing
episode.
business so
I
you
like
can
it.
build
You're
an
part of the
amazing
beginning.
life.
Yeah, I like it at the beginning. I like it too.
I think I've got five.
The Boom Real
Let's
Estate
talk more about that. You
Podcast
want to have individual?
starts now.
Yes.
Megan! Yes! Ow! I just pulled my headphones off my earball.
Move the phone.
She moved the phone, Christian! Look at my camera!
Oh!
A horrendous start to the Boom Real Estate Podcast.
I think it's
The worst has happened.
I have two cameras.
Christian, switch over
Why
to
do I have
Megan's
two cameras?
Christian, you're
Yes.
still on the GoPro.
Yeah, no,
you
bring
gotta.
it back to me.
No,
Bring
it's
it back.
this guy. Oh boy! If you're listening on the podcast, sorry about that. This is why you need to be on YouTube and see what's going on.
This is why I don't stand up and do weird stretches like you guys.
Megan,
I just break stuff.
Megan.
I just sit in my corner.
Like an hour setting up the cameras.
we literally have spent the hour getting the
Yeah,
setup
we
going.
did.
Megan in one fell swoop, knocked down
I stood up
Station
and
B.
just messed it all
Oh
up.
man.
Oh man.
That's okay, Megan. It's
Do you want
it's
to vote me off the island?
no, it's gonna be a good day.
It is.
We're not gonna lose this episode in the first inning. There's a lot of podcast
Lot of game
baseball
left.
to be played.
Okay.
Okay. So let's dial it
Christian.
back in. We're gonna need you. We're gonna need you
All right,
today.
I'm back.
All right.
So focused.
We're going to
You can
reset and
do
reboot. Welcome to the Boom Real Estate Podcast, everybody. I'm Terry. To my right is Megan, who has failed the entire podcast
I'm
completely.
just swinging my arms aimlessly at things, at
And it-
technology.
Across from Megan is Todd. Hi, Todd.
Why do you have three fruity
Hey.
chews? Just three.
Part of my breakfast.
Are those vitamin
I-
C chews?
Listen, for breakfast, I had
Yeah,
I
let's talk
grabbed
about
a
your breakfast.
kids granola bar and a pack of fruit snacks on the way out the door, and I'm just finishing up my
know,
savory
She's
fruit
parceling them out
snacks.
throughout the
think-
episode.
I think my favorite thing about those, if I'm not mistaken, from the packaging, is those
Saving
are
my favorites.
organic.
Oh, good.
Well, they say
so-
that.
They say organic.
Yeah.
Like they-
Organic
I
fruit
mean-
chews.
The fruit chew gummy tree.
Right.
They picked them fresh. Fresh pick. They're seasonal even. That's
I'm
good.
Not sure. I'm
Can
pretty
we
sure.
see one of those on the camera?
Oh, yeah.
Without
For-
you hitting it.
Again, this is why you got to be on
Which camera you
YouTube.
gonna go to?
I'm gonna put it in front of
Put it in front of
Terry's
Terry.
face.
Oh, wait.
Oh, there it
Can you
is.
see it?
Organic fruit
Ow.
chew. Organic fruit chew.
Tastes fresh.
I don't believe it. I'm pretty sure that organic has become a pretty loose word.
I
these
know.
days
It's
for
like the new
marketing.
high def. I remember when I remember
Yeah.
a fridge was high def at one point.
What?
They were marketing the fridge
High
as
def
high
fridge.
def. I'm
Really?
like,
Yeah.
what?
Exactly.
It
Makes nothing but sense.
My food was so crystal clear I could almost reach out and grab it.
Fact check false.
And across from me, producer Christian. What up, big dog?
Hello.
Thanks for recovering quickly after once again Megan destroyed the podcast set.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Hey,
I
you
owe
came
you.
to play today because that was an intense moment, and you
It
jumped right
was.
in there
I
and
jumped
handled
in.
it.
I produced.
You also
Yes.
got it set back up really quickly. It took an hour to get it set up
Yep.
before,
That's right.
and he
Yeah.
just did it in 20 seconds.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so we want to hear from you. Email info@boomrealestatepodcast.com, and you can see all the shenanigans on YouTube. In fact, I will tell you, we have a dedicated playlist that is just shenanigans. So if you are missing
doesn't
our
want that.
YouTube page right now,
Yeah.
you are missing it. You can go to one place for all of the ridiculous shenanigans. You don't need any content from us. You don't need anything about becoming a better realtor at all.
Yep.
You could just go look at the shenanigans. It's on our YouTube page. So go to YouTube,
Jump
search
into that rabbit
Boom
hole.
Real Estate Podcast.
I did that. That was my fault.
What happened just now?
I just
we're
kicked
just-
the thing and messed them all up
We're
again.
gonna be so used to
After
it.
yelling at
We're just-
Megan.
You know who's doing really well at the technology so far?
Yeah.
Todd and I.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, give it some
MVP.
time.
Yeah.
Haven't messed
Give
up a
it some
thing.
time.
We have a new
guys.
setup we're trying to get used
We'll
to.
vote for the
We'll get there, won't we,
MVP
Megan?
of the
We will, we
podcast.
will.
Guess what I just did?
I'm voting
What?
for you to fail. Todd.
Subscribe to our YouTube page.
You haven't subscribed to the YouTube page yet. Boom! That's awesome.
Oops.
You know what? Before you laugh, Megan, have you subscribed?
I'm gonna check.
Ah!
I totally had that thought after I was like, "Ma,"
Ooh.
and I was like, better check.
Yeah. See, that means I did a good pitch for the YouTube page because I said, "Hey, it's a bunch of fun," and you guys are like, "I'm gonna check it
I should
out.
probably look at that.
Let's see what that's all about." Okay, and then here's the other thing. Today as you know, we're talking about Sphere, 4 ways to squeeze your sphere, and we have some Sphere scripts for you available at boomgoesthescripts.com. boom goes to scripts.com. So you can listen to this episode and then reach out to your sphere using those scripts. And I know they've been helpful for a bunch of people. So go get those. They are free.
Get 'em.
Easy PDF download for your enjoyment. Okay. Sphere, man, we're so huge on Sphere. Like,
Yeah.
I just can't overemphasize the importance of the Sphere in my business, in what I know of your guys' business. It is like everybody wants the golden nugget. You already have the golden nugget. It is your Sphere, and today we're talking about how to squeeze that Sphere for all the juice we can get out of
I
it.
feel like this is what my parents have been prepping me for my whole life. Like
Yeah,
when they
squeezing the
started
sphere.
with like having play dates when I was a kid.
Yeah.
They'd send me on play dates.
Yeah.
They were just prepping me. Like that was the minor
They were
leagues.
grooming
Like,
you.
hey,
Todd's got that networking event. I mean, play date tomorrow. That's awesome. That is true, man. Like we can start building our kids' networks.
I was just
right
thinking
now.
that.
Right
My
now.
first thought was like, is it bad that I'm like, okay, now how do I need to strategize my child's play?
Is that
date?
why you guys are friends with us? Like we're just trying to network our kids
Yep.
together?
It's been a
That works.
slow play.
Works for me.
like 10, 15 years.
I like it.
I'm networking with all you guys right now for my eventual funeral business.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
all I've been building my whole life for your deaths.
Wow, it just
My
took a-
whole
took a
life.
weird turn.
My whole life is focused on your death.
That's
I'm very
Okay,
excited
next
about
topic.
super depressing.
And let's talk about our friends.
Oh, I might not be subscribed.
Boom! We are picking up subscribers right and left on this episode. I love it.
You guys.
That's awesome.
That was so sad that just came out. Yeah. Okay, we're going to start squeezing our sphere today. Terry, you just hit the nail on the head a little
Thanks.
bit ago. It really is your most important and valuable asset that you have is your sphere. We do something with our team every month. We run the numbers. When I say we, I mean Todd sits in the office and goes back through every number
Every single digit.
of every single team member.
Analyzes every digit of every number of
It
every
is-
transaction of
I think we-
He
everything.
infinitely analyzes the numbers.
Yes, he does.
I think we've talked about this before, but like, so my dad, he was a banker, really good with numbers and everything, and I think, and he listens to these, so he probably is going to support that this actually happened. But at my grandpa's funeral, he made fun of my ability to do accounting. Because my grandpa was a banker as well.
Okay.
And so he said something to the effect of like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but he referenced the fact that I was terrible at accounting.
Oh, in the eulogy?
At the eulogy.
Oh, wow.
Like,
Wow.
Talked about my grandpa would be turning over in his grave.
You know, Grandpa loved numbers. You know who's bad with numbers? My son, Todd, who's been a major disappointment to me. Grandpa as well. You've really let us down, son.
So all that being said,
Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad.
I just want to thank you guys for putting the trust
know,
in me
right?
to be your accountant
Seriously.
for
I know.
our team.
But was that like a turning point moment? Did
yes.
it change
Let's
you?
say
And
that.
obviously, it impacted you enough to want to be good at it.
It was a good moment. I think it really, like, I was still a teacher, or I was about to, no, because I was in college at the time. But I became a teacher where, like, we didn't make money, so you didn't have to account for anything. So,
You know what's great is that we've turned all the family's finances over to you as well. So
Here's the thing,
my
though.
just
In-
belief in you is growing.
So we're in a partnership, the three of us, as you know, with Ferris Property Group. So it's me, Todd, and Megan that run the team. So in that absolute vacuum of skills when it comes to math, you go with whoever's best. Because I would be the worst. Megan would be the second worst. Todd is head and shoulders, even in his mediocrity, head and shoulders above anything that we could do. So hoots to you, brother.
Oh, thank you.
You are
Thank
the
you.
man. All right. So anyway, yes, back to you, Megan.
Okay, yeah. So we analyze our numbers every month, and when you go back and look at them, it's amazing how our personal businesses, all three of them, and our team also runs, you know, because they end up playing like you play, but it's always over 60% of our business that
Yes.
is sphere or sphere referral. And
Yep.
how crazy is that when you think about it?
Yeah.
And isn't the dream in a few years of working and like rocking the pavement, what's it called? No, hitting the pavement.
Yeah.
Right?
Or pounding the pavement. You could say
Pounding the
that. A little
pavement.
alliteration.
You know, don't you want to eventually just end up to the place where you're getting referrals more and more and not having to spend money or time doing that as often because it's coming to you because you've invested.
We did a speaking engagement maybe a month or two ago, and I was taken back. Like it was one of those like refresher things that remind me that we do things well with
Yeah.
Sphere. But so we're speaking in front of this crowd, and we're talking about the fact that our team did, and so depending on where you are, this might not be a big number to you, but we did about 34 million last year as a team, right? And about 167 transactions. And so our price point's lower here, but like transaction-wise, we've done a lot of transactions compared to most agents. And so they were like, so where are you getting all your business? And we said Sphere. And they were all taken back.
Yeah.
They're like, what? And so like, that was kind of that moment where I was reminded, like, that's different than a lot of the industry. A lot of industry feels like if you're going to do that many units, you need to be buying
like
leads.
web leads, all that stuff.
And we're very opposite of that.
Yeah, sure.
So not that we're not going to try to learn.
Yeah, no, we're not opposed to the web leads at all, but it's just it's crazy to be able to squeeze as much as we've squozen. That's right. Out of our sphere.
So yeah, and that's the thing. When we're out training and speaking about doing these things, the number one thing we hear from agents, and especially new agents, are, I might have a list of 50 people, but they're not interested, or how do I really talk to them, or I'm uncomfortable with this. And so this is what we want to talk about today is how do you squeeze referrals out of this sphere that you have, and it could be 5 people, it could be 800 people, but the thing is what you do for these 5 people you're going to do for 800, and it's going to grow, and you're going to add to your sphere both through squeezing what you have and then the other arms that we've talked about in our 6-finger punching fist, like open
houses. You say arms in the fist?
I am just willy-nilly with my
That's
body
okay.
parts
That's
today.
okay, Megan. Hey, we're going to need you in this podcast. I need you to stay dialed
I'm
in.
Still kind of flustered.
You're 0 for 2.
My
That's
right
okay.
arm, I just can't do anything with it because I'm really nervous.
That is true.
That I'm gonna,
we'll fix that in post, Megan.
I'll train myself.
Don't you go to those organic
she's having an
fruit
organic
chews.
snack.
I really want one. I'm stress eating now. It's just a real issue. It's an issue. All right, so let's dive into this. We want to really talk today about how to squeeze all you can out of your spear. Dang it!
You're struggling with the word
spear?
spear?
It's like a spear, like a pickle spear.
Oh, you could say spear.
Right?
I think it'd be fun if you, in
Spear?
particular, say spear,
The
and
rest
none of
of
us acknowledges that you're saying
I
spear.
like that out
from
of
this
all the
moment on.
spears you could have chosen from, you went with pickle.
You name a spear.
Yeah.
Brittany.
That was a good one.
Well done.
That was a good one. Okay, so we have 4 ways to squeeze your spear. It's bad when you think of Britney Spears if you say that. Let's get that. Let's get out. Let's say sphere again. Forget that.
Terry,
okay.
come up with a spear.
Like a javelin type
Ooh,
sphere. Now I can't say the word. Christian, what's a spear?
I don't know.
I know. Yeah, it's pickle.
Pass.
It's javelin or it's Britney Spear.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Britney Spear has fallen off the map.
There's technically an S on there. She's
She's
very
huge in
big.
Vegas.
I
very
like
busy
it
in
without the
Vegas.
S though.
She's
I
a
like it.
Spear.
Oh yeah, she's got a Vegas
Killing it in
show.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go see Britney Spear in Las Vegas. It's
Friend
funny
of the
to say
podcast.
Spear.
Go to the-
It's so funny to me to say Spear. I don't know why.
I
Sorry. Okay.
heard that the other day and I could not get it out of my
Oh,
head.
the toxic.
Oh, I heard. I was like, I know this is gonna be in my head all day.
Have
Yeah,
you seen
she's
any
good.
of the? You can go to YouTube after you're done watching our
Yes.
YouTube channel. You can watch some of her Vegas show, and you can see it's kind of like getting phoned in now a little bit.
Oh,
It's
I'm
like,
sure.
I've got
It would
like
be hard
7
not
moves.
to.
My dancers are great behind me,
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah.
like kind of doing 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing.
It's kind of like our podcast after
Yeah.
2 years. Like at
Just kinda
some
phone it
point,
in.
it's just like, all right, here's the move. It's 4 sphere script or 4 ways to squeeze. No, I'm just kidding. Okay,
Good
so
stuff.
good times. Let's go to you, Todd. Let's start us off. First way to squeeze your sphere.
Yeah. All right. So the first thing you need to do with your spear, whatever you have, you need to audit them. All right. And we do this, typically we do this about once a year. But basically all you're going to do is you're going to take your list of people, and whether it's 50 people, whether it's 500 people, whatever it is, you're going to go through them, and you are going to make sure that you have them properly categorized,
Yes.
or, just analyze how you should be, where they rank. So depending on, like, we are level 1, level 2, level 3 in our list. We have VIPs now. We've added level 1.5 because that's all. You got to listen to past episodes to find out what those are.
Eps.
But for some of you, you might be A, B, C's, you might be whatever. But either way, you need to go through and you basically need to rank everybody, audit them, and just make sure that everybody is where they should be in terms of how you're going to market to them. Are they in your farm? Are they over in an apartment building that you're going after? Whatever the case may be. So, and then the next thing is, now that you know exactly, you've cleaned out your inventory of clientele, and you got them all properly categorized, then you need to make sure you know exactly what you're going to do with them. So decide the next steps for each one. Especially like if you're 50, if you got a smaller sphere of influence, which is okay, just make sure that you have very specific goals on how you're going to capitalize off of all of them. And then you should have second goals of growing that as well, which we'll talk about later. So the last thing is just simply going back to that, set goals. Have goals with that. You've audited them, you know where they want to be. Now set goals. How big do you want your sphere to get? What do you want to do with the sphere that you have? What are the mini goals for each person? All that fun stuff. So audit your list.
We did an episode episode 42, and it was called Choose Your Favorite People. And in that episode, we really broke down how we categorize our database.
Yep.
So if you want more information and more details on that, get into the archives, gang. Don't be afraid of the archives.
That's right.
They might have some dated references. We may have a Britney Spears reference. I don't know. It's been a while since episode 42.
Yeah.
But get in there, find that. That'll be helpful for you to get started categorizing if you've never done that before, which a lot of you, I bet you haven't.
And 108, 109 is the sphere part 1 and part 2.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's where you get into categorization and numbering. And
The whole
Yeah.
9
Yeah.
yards.
Yep.
Love it. Okay, so that's the first one. Audit. Get them audited, and then that's a great start. Megan.
It is.
Next.
Now we are going to set up our systems.
System.
Systems.
This is huge.
Here's the deal.
It really
we
is.
only have so much time in a day. You have to have systems behind you that are consistently touching your sphere and your spear to keep it going
Good job,
all
Megan.
the time. You got to be consistent when it comes to squeezing your sphere, because they need to know that you're paying attention, and they need to see your name, and they need to remember you. So consistency is key. So set your systems. First thing you need to do is make sure you have a system
Yes.
in place to touch your clients.
I bet you
in
don't.
your sphere.
I bet most people don't. I didn't for a long time.
I know. And
Even though I came into this system that you guys had said this is how we do our things,
Yep.
I didn't have a systematic approach of touching them regularly
Yeah,
until a year ago or so.
Nice. Well, and there's a couple of things. First, I think sometimes it's a daunting job. You're like, I got to figure out all these people and put their info in, and it's very daunting. But honestly, if you just stuck to it for a day, you could probably get it all done. And it is so worth it because you're going to save so much time.
Yes.
And you could pick this. I mean, there are a million systems we could go into. Right now, we're using Top Producer. There's oh gosh, there's a million. I just lost that. Like, not Revolve. There's a bunch.
Oh, yeah,
there's
yeah.
big ones. And then, but any CRM that you use and feel comfortable with, I don't care if it's in an Excel sheet. If you have nothing, start there and put it somewhere. But if you have one of these services, your brokerage might have one. Go out and find one. It will automate for you. And Excel won't do that. So you really need to get into a next level CRM to get doing that. So make sure you have the systems in place to touch your clients consistently in your sphere.
yeah, my dad was in sales for 50 plus years, and if I had $1 for every time he said, "Go back to your book of business," which is what he called it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd have at least $5.
Hey,
But he said it all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, it's easy money, it's low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
People who bought from you will buy from you.
Yep. And that whole like and trust, they already have that. You're not starting over to build this
not a new
relationship.
idea.
You've got the rapport.
Yep.
Back to your book of business. I like it. Then, like I just said, make sure that you have something automated in place. You can go in and do like your random audits and touch base with people and keep up on birthdays, but there has to be something automated because there will be busy seasons in your real estate business where you just won't have time to proactively procure a business consistently, and this needs to be in place because then you are. You're not there. It's out of sight. It's out of mind, but it's still working for you. Smart business. Next thing you need to do is make sure that you're using it efficiently. It doesn't matter how you do it. There was a day when I used to just let like stacks of my contacts from open houses and client information sheets like build up on my desk, and then once a month I'd enter them all in. That would be my goal. That's fine. Whatever works for you, but make sure it is efficient. If you have an assistant, somebody that can help you an hour or two a week entering in information,
that's a good idea.
so worth it, and that they're auditing it for you. Super important.
That's-
Audited it.
I think that's a
Audited it.
huge step for anybody, is just pay somebody $10-12 an hour, and it depends on where you are and what your market kind of elicits for the need of that money. But just pay somebody $10-12 just to do some quick auditing for you, or data entry and stuff like that, and it'll take you to the next level. Have everything automated. You hand them a card and they put it in.
They
Boom.
know what to do, and there it is. And then the other part
It's a hot tip.
is a hot
That
tip.
is a hot tip.
Being efficient is so important. Use the systems you have. We have a system in place that sends 2 e-newsletters a month, and honestly, we don't give much information. We're not creating a brand new e-newsletter every week or two to send out to people. Have some kind of template or somebody that does it for you, or a system that's automated so it's happening, because you're not always going to have time to be consistent in that. And you shouldn't be, because your time should be out with the people. These should be systems put in place behind you. So
I've been mentally debating lately, and I know this is not efficient, but I wonder if you were creating the email content for your drip, like really customized, really hyper local, really featuring yourself, your personality, like, and trying to be helpful. I wonder if you could squeeze even more out of it if you invested that time to write it. I've been curious. I've been debating in my mind because I think you could.
Yeah.
But the realistic side of me is like, man, that's especially to try twice a month. That's a lot.
yeah.
And probably for like 99% of agents, they should just automate that, like you guys are talking about. And I'm probably in that 99%. But I've been wondering, and maybe if you're a newer agent and you have more time, and you don't have as much money, you just do a MailChimp or something like that, and you spend once a month like really creating a great email to send to your database. Because I think there's opportunity there for extra squeezing.
Yeah, I've debated. I like the idea of a template, maybe, that you, because blogging and reading things that people are posting and seeing pictures that are doing, that's really where our minds are right now in the world. That's what we want to see. So I do think there's value. And when you go through your email inbox and you see what you click on and what you delete, I do open more when I know somebody's kind of soliciting, but it's going to be an original thought versus a stock email that's just that. So maybe even a hybrid of a template with you putting a little blog post and some pictures in or something, so it's easy but still personalized.
Yeah, or maybe you have a goal of sending 4 of those per year and let the automated version do the rest. I don't know. You know and you know your time, and be realistic. But I've been debating in my mind about it and just wanted to drop that in.
I like it. I like it. And then the last thing is just making sure when you're setting up your systems that you're auditing that as well, and making sure you're getting the results you were hoping to get, that things are happening. Look back every month and say, okay, is this working for me? Am I getting enough touches in? Is it working the way it should be working? And why or why not? If it's not working, fix it. Why isn't it working? And let's analyze that. If it's working, great. Let's put more to it and keep going with that. And then reach up. If you need somebody to help you, your systems aren't working, or you're not really happy with it, reach up to somebody that's doing what you like and let them help you out.
Yeah, for sure. Those first 2 are just massive, I think. Auditing your database and getting your systems in place. Like, 2 killer ways to squeeze your sphere. Guess what?
What?
We have 2 more.
What?
Unbelievable.
It's like,
we just keep on
amazing.
giving. We just keep on squeezing this fruit.
Yep.
Okay, this organic fruit chew.
Infinite Christmas over here.
There's a lot of juice in the organic fruit chew that we're squeezing out. The fruit chew of real estate. Okay, Todd, number 3. Let's go.
Yeah, this is going to be real simple. Ready? Yeah. All right. So you've audited your people. You've set up your system. So you got these automatic drip campaigns and everything. But what did Christian say? What did your dad used to say?
Book of business.
Book of business. Go back to your book of business.
So what's the best way to go back to your book of business? Meet them face to face. And if you are struggling right now and you're just not getting the business, you need to look at it and be like, how many times have I met face to face with my clients?
Yeah.
And there's so many ways to do it. You could do, like actual coffees or lunches. You can have them for drinks later. You can have client appreciation parties, all these different things. You can do door knocks. You can, Popeyes, all these different ways to meet them face to face. But the key is you got to schedule it. If you don't put it on your schedule, you're not going to do it. So schedule it. We used to do a lunch campaign where we would have 52 weeks in the year, and we'd name 52 people that we wanted to have lunch with.
Yep.
And then we would schedule it. And if you've got an assistant, have your assistant schedule it. That's next level stuff. All right. But you need to be face to face. You want to be live. You want to meet them. You want to smell them.
What?
Nope.
Yep.
Nope.
That's the second time he's
So
brought
you
up smelling
I'm so
people
glad
lately.
we're meeting right now. You smell so good.
You want to smell them. Oh.
So these are key components to any time you want to grow your sphere.
Stop it. It's weird.
Wow.
It's getting weird.
You smell great.
But so But that's one thing, one aspect of it. But the other couple is just simply like make sure you're communicating with them. Like it's good to catch up, but also like let them know like, hey, these are some of the goals that I've got, and I was wondering if you could help me grow or help me get to my goals. Don't be afraid to ask for referrals. I mean, they understand like it's a catch-up thing. They like you want to connect with them, but at the same time, it's okay to say, hey, do you mind if I put my real estate hat on for just a second? But what will most likely happen is it will organically come up because they'll be like, how's business? And then boom, now you can start talking about it. And if they don't ask that question, then you ask that of them, and they will return the question.
Well, people know you're an agent. I mean, they know what they're in for, right? When they have lunch with you, you're going to talk a little bit about business, a little bit about personal.
Exactly.
No
so
surprise.
It's going to come up. But just simply, if you need a good way to just kind of reignite your business, get on the phone, schedule lunch appointments right now, go out face-to-face, get to your people.
I for the last like bajillion years, I've always had a day called my networking day, and it was always Thursdays, and it was my day because that's one of the like 3 things I want to focus on my sources of business, and it's networking day, and a lot of that is already with Sphere that I just need to squeeze more out of and get closer to, and let them know that we have goals, and we do a networking group called BNI, and I can. It's very clear when I started versus the time I started having one-to-one appointments with people, sitting down and just saying, how can I help you and what's going on with you? And then they say, how can I help you? And like a painter, we're friends, and then we network and we talk about business. And then I say, hey, if you're in any houses, just let them know. And it's crazy how after those meetings, you see a spike in communication from them, referrals. So I think it's really getting out there, but doing it on purpose, strategically meeting with the people you need to meet with in your sphere and being very analytical about those that you can partner with and connect with.
Right.
So.
That's awesome. Good stuff. Okay, we've got one more. Megan, get to it.
Ooh, this one's pretty easy in theory, but hard to implement sometimes. But it's just follow up. And it's just like what Terry says about social media. How much do you need to be doing? More than you're doing right now. You need to reach out to people in your sphere. Just make sure that your systems are running after your initial contact. We already talked about that. Do what you say you're going to do. If you meet with somebody and you say, oh yeah, let me send you the copy of the park that's going in Zionsville next week because we talked about it at our meeting, or even if you didn't say you're doing it but you talked about it, and that could be a follow-up touch before you go to bed that night. Do what you said you're going to do, and that impresses people. They're like, oh, they remembered, or oh yeah, we just talked about that. It's a really cool way to connect and be next level. Do it consistently, follow up, and then go the extra mile. Do something special. If you met with somebody or you talk to your sphere and they have a kid graduating on Friday, you know what? Set a reminder on Friday morning to say, hey, hope graduation goes well, or send a funny meme of somebody cleaning their house with their hair on fire. Like, have some fun. Touch your sphere and make sure that people know you care about them, and you'll squeeze more.
I love it. That's the 4 right there. Audit your sphere, get your systems in place, get out there face to face with people, and follow up. Don't make this an episode where you sit and say, oh, that's a nice reminder. Thanks for the little reminder. Like, actually get out there and do it. Invest the time in your sphere, and it will pay off for you for years to come. I can't emphasize it enough. We want to hear from you. info@boomrealestatepodcast.com. Check out the YouTube page. We've got a few new subscribers. We want to say hi to you guys. Todd and Megan.
Hi, Terry.
And listen, if you don't know what to say to your sphere, boomgoesthescripts.com. Get that free PDF. It will help you get those initial contacts going so that you can squeeze your sphere. Squeeze them! Megan has fashioned a paper airplane with an organic fruit chew. It went into Todd's mouth. No, it didn't. And if you knew that, if you were on YouTube, you'd know that didn't work out very well at all. And now the fruit chew is covered in
Terry,
lint and
it's calling
fuzz.
for you.
No, I'm not touching that thing. See you next time on the Boom Real Estate Podcast.
And we're out.